You think you know the Ravens, and then, in the blink of an eye, everything changes. The defense that looked solid last year, one of the league's top sack producers, is suddenly showing cracks no one saw coming. Kyle Van Noy's injury hit like a bomb, and to make matters worse, the team let some veterans slip through their fingers, players who could have saved the start of the season. Now, the young guys have to step up in critical moments, facing powerhouse offenses like the Lions and Chiefs. What's going to happen? You won't believe what the Ravens will need to do just to try and turn this around. Last season, the Ravens put up numbers that would impress anyone. They were the second highest team in the NFL in sacks, racking up 54 in total. Those stats grab attention because they show the defense had pieces capable of game-changing plays, taking down quarterbacks in crucial moments. On the surface, it looked like Baltimore's pass rush was one of the league's most dominant. But look a little closer, and the story changes. Despite the sacks, Baltimore wasn't a team that could consistently pressure the quarterback. Their hurry and pressure rates lagged well behind elite defenses, showing that while the Ravens could deliver big plays here and there, they struggled to keep opponents uncomfortable on every snap. It was like being good at creating moments of impact, but not at sustaining the pressure throughout the game. And that makes all the difference against the league's top quarterbacks. Facing guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Joe Burrow, one or two brilliant plays aren't enough. Without constant pressure, these quarterbacks find the time they need, exploit gaps, and punish the defense. This technical detail was overlooked in 2024, but it already highlighted that the pass rush foundation needed reinforcement. So heading into 2025 with almost the same group, banking on sack numbers to hide the reality, was a huge gamble. And the truth is, that decision is already costing them far sooner than expected. What once looked like a hidden weakness in good stats has now become a real concern. And this risk didn't come alone. The way the team handled the offseason added weight to the gamble because the lack of depth in the defensive group was obvious even before the season began. That's where the next point comes in, showing just how risky the Ravens' bet was given challenges ahead. After finishing 2024 with solid sack numbers, the front office believed the defense's core didn't need much tinkering. They brought in rookie Mike Green in the draft, kept most of the group intact, and trusted that the team chemistry would be enough to take the next step. From the start, though, this move felt like a gamble because everyone knew the rotation wasn't as deep as it looked on paper. Baltimore has always been known for building strong defenses, but this risk was different. Instead of adding impact veterans to share responsibilities, the front office chose to rely on existing players, hoping they develop quickly enough. The problem is, in the NFL, growth doesn't always happen on schedule. And when you enter a season with clear gaps, any injury can turn a minor issue into a nightmare. That fear became reality, and fast, because it's not just about stats or projections. It's about facing the league's most dangerous offenses without the rotation needed to sustain pressure throughout games. Without depth, every snap gets heavier for those on the field, increasing both physical and mental wear on the defense. Now, with that offseason choice made, the Ravens face a situation with very few immediate alternatives. What once was a theoretical worry has turned into a real problem, especially after the injury to one of the unit's most experienced leaders. And that's exactly where Kyle Van Noy's impact comes in, leaving a massive hole in the defense at the worst possible moment. Kyle Van Noy isn't just another rotational player. He's a veteran used to facing top-tier offenses, someone who knows how to position himself under pressure and bring stability to those around him. His hamstring injury, suffered in the win over the Browns, shocked the team and threw their plans for the coming weeks into chaos. His absence comes at a critical stretch of the schedule. Next up, Baltimore faces two of the NFL's most explosive offenses. First, the Detroit Lions, among the most efficient attacks in the league, then the Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes. Every detail matters in these matchups, and being without a veteran like Van Noy leaves the defense exposed. The bigger worry is that there isn't a direct replacement for everything he brings. It's not just about sacks or stats. It's leadership, experience, and the ability to keep the defense organized against elite offenses. Without him, younger players will have to take on bigger roles, even if they aren't fully ready. And if the injury would have been tough at any point in the season, it's even worse now, because the veteran market has already dried up. Baltimore can't simply bring in a big-name reinforcement, which ties directly into the next point. The off-season opportunities they let slip by, now painfully missed.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.
At the start of the year, there were still options that could have changed the current situation. Za'Darius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney were available, two veterans with proven impact, and more importantly, two former Ravens who knew the franchise and would probably have loved a reunion in Baltimore. It would have been the perfect chance to reinforce the rotation without compromising the team's future. But time passed, and the front office chose not to act. Smith signed with the Philadelphia Eagles right after Week 1. Clowney went to the Dallas Cowboys after Week 2. Two players who could have been wearing purple and black, helping ease the pressure during a critical stretch, ended up elsewhere, teams that didn't hesitate to move fast. That inaction has a cost. Against elite quarterbacks, Baltimore already struggled in Week 1, failing to pressure or contain Josh Allen consistently. And what was already obvious then, that the rotation needed more strength, now gets worse without Van Noy. What could have been one of the most feared defenses in 2025 has turned into a unit full of question marks. And that shifts even more responsibility onto the players left on the roster. Without these veterans, the Ravens have to rely on internal talent, trusting guys who haven't fully proven themselves yet. The weight is moving from seasoned names to young players who now have to step up, which brings us to the final point. With Van Noy out, the Ravens' rotation would depend on players who, until now, hadn't carried a major role. David Ojabo is the clearest example. Before the injury, he was just fifth on the outside linebacker depth chart. Now, he's being thrown into action against the Detroit Lions, a game that could define much of the early season. The challenge is that Ojabo hasn't fully proven himself over his first 3 NFL seasons. He has talent, but injuries and inconsistencies slowed his development. Now the pressure is immense. Instead of easing in, he must take on a critical role in a defense that needs immediate answers. It's a chance to show his value, but it's also a huge risk. Any mistake against top offenses could be costly. Alongside him, rookie Mike Green is being thrown into the fire earlier than expected. He was drafted to be part of the defense's future, but the future has arrived fast, and players like Odafe Oweh and Tavius Robinson will also need to step up to support the rotation. What was once a supporting cast has become the focal point in a matter of days, and they have to deliver during one of the toughest stretches of the schedule. All Baltimore can do now is rely on the energy and raw talent of these young players, hoping they mature quickly. The weight is heavy, the responsibility enormous, but sometimes true leaders emerge in moments like these. How they perform will say a lot about how far the Ravens can go early in the season. It's clear the Ravens have started 2025 facing challenges no one could have predicted. The defense that looked ready to shine has shown its cracks. The offseason gamble hasn't paid off, and Kyle Van Noy's injury turned a potential problem into an urgent crisis. The lack of experienced veterans and the need to push the young players into the spotlight puts the team in a critical spot right out of the gate. Now, everything depends on how Mike Green, David Ojabo, and the rest of the young players handle the pressure. Every snap, every play will show whether the Ravens can overcome these hurdles or if this tough start will set the tone for the season. How do you think they'll perform against the Lions and Chiefs without Van Noy? The path is tough, but the opportunity to prove themselves has never been bigger.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.